In best cinematography, I always have trouble pronouncing cinematography for some reason, but here I have Hoyte van Hoyteme for Oppenheimer as my number one. He's a clear favorite to win. He's going to win this Oscar easily. In number two, I have Killers of the Flower Moon. In number three, Poor Things, followed by Maestro, and then a movie called El Conde that I have not seen, but from all the posters that I have seen and all the buzz that I am hearing, it's a very beautiful movie to look at. So I have it at my number five. Maestro will get nominated because it's kind of an Oscar darling that will get nominated a lot, but it's not going to win a lot. It will be one of those movies where a lot of people love it, but because of the backlash and the fact that it's not as great as it was initially expected is the reason Maestro will continue losing steam, but it will still get nominated in many of these categories just because it's Maestro, it's Bradley Cooper. He has actually directed a very good movie, I think. I don't think the movie is bad. It's not as great as it should be to compete with the best pictures. That's all I'm saying. So, number two is Killers of the Flower Moon. But again, this particular category is also sealed. Oppenheimer is going to win this easily. And Poor Things is also a very beautiful movie, but I just don't think it's going to compete with Oppenheimer. So, in Best Production Design, I have Barbie winning actually at number one. Then I have Oppenheimer at number two, Killers of the Flower Moon at number three, Poor Things at number four, and Maestro as my number five. So this category is not a done deal, but I would say that if there's a category where Barbie wins, it could definitely be this category. Like the sets of Barbie and the production design of Barbie is the best part of Barbie. I would say the scenes in Barbie land, they feel so authentic and lived in and real that you are immersed in that world completely, and production design is like the MVP there. Without the great production design, that movie never starts actually. Like I'm, as it is, not a very big fan of Barbie, but if you remove the production design, there's very few things there. Don't get me wrong, the script is still good, but without that production design, the movie would never have reached the heights that it did. Barbie is going to take this Oscar in my predictions, and I think it should win as well. Barbie is going to take this one against Oppenheimer, which is one of the rare instances where Oppenheimer is going to get defeated by Barbie, but this is one of those categories. Next up is Best Makeup and Hairstyling. Here I have Maestro as my number one, Poor Things as my number two, Oppenheimer as my number three, Golda as my number four, and Barbie as my number five. I think Maestro wins it just because how Bradley Cooper was able to transform himself into different versions of Leonard Bernstein throughout his life, and it felt totally authentic. Like you could hate Maestro, but you cannot hate the look or how the makeup of both Felicia and Leonard and all the people during that particular time. So yeah, best makeup and hairstyling. Poor Thing still has a shot. I think Oppenheimer still has a shot because in a similar way to Maestro, Oppenheimer also goes through a lot of phases and the makeup is absolutely brilliant. And also the number of historical characters in Oppenheimer is so large, and they have done justice to almost each and every one of them. So Oppenheimer also has a chance. This category is actually a toss up. I think anyone could win, but I have Maestro as my number one, and I think it should win as well, and I think it will win as well. In best costume design, I have Barbie in number one. I have Oppenheimer as my number two, Killers of the Flower Moon at number three, Poor Things at number four, and then Maestro at number five. Again, this is another category where Barbie gets to beat Oppenheimer. I may be wrong. Maybe Barbie does not win this one. Maybe Oppenheimer wins it. But in terms of the costumes, you can't deny that Barbie has, first of all, a lot of Barbies, a lot of Kens, one Adam as well, and all the costumes that they wear at different points of the movie. You can't just deny it's beautiful, it's amazing. Oppenheimer can win this as well. There is a scenario that Oppenheimer sweeps actually everything. Like it sweeps even production design, it sweeps best costume design, but I don't think that's going to happen. I do think there will be some love shared. Barbie will get a win in one or two categories, and I think best costume design is among those one or two categories where Barbie gets its win open over Oppenheimer. In terms of the other movies, Killers of the Flower Moon, Poor Things, Maestro, I think these three are movies that are going to be seen as nominations in many categories, but I don't see them winning many Oscars. In terms of the technical aspects, I think Barbie and Oppenheimer, as you can see the trend, it's pretty similar going on in this video as well. Barbie and Oppenheimer, either one of those two are going to take away a lot of the technical awards at least. Next, we have Best Sound. In Best Sound, again, I have Oppenheimer winning this award, then Killers of the Flower Moon. At number 3, I actually have The Zone of Interest. At number 4, I have Ferrari. And at number 5, I have Barbie. So this is different from original score. Sound means that how you use sound throughout the movie. Like, for example, when someone is going up the stairs, when someone is going down the stairs, when someone is writing on the board, how that particular sound is recorded, how that sound appears to us. And that's the reason I am including The Zone of Interest, because I've heard that it's a movie that relies highly on sound, and the sound design that they have done on this that movie is incredible. That's the same reason Ferrari is on this particular list. I don't think anyone rates Ferrari as a great movie, but it's here because I've heard that the sound is amazing in that movie. And Barbie, obviously, Barbie, Killers of the Flower Moon, and Oppenheimer are the usual suspects here. And I actually have again Oppenheimer winning this award as well. Next, I have Best Original Score. I think I'm just repeating myself again and again. Again, I have Oppenheimer as my number one, then Killers of the Flower Moon, then The Zone of Interest. But I do have Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Yay, hooray, finally. Across the Spider-Verse gets a nomination. We'll see later in the video if it gets a Best Picture nomination, but at least it will get, hopefully it will get a nomination for Best Original Score. And at number 5, I have Poor Things. I am pretty confident about these predictions. Again, The Zone of Interest is getting nominated in a lot of these categories just because the Oscars are very international. They have many members who are now from the international bodies as well. And I think movies like The Zone of Interest or Anatomy of a Fall or Past Lives will get love during this Oscar season just because the Academy has become so international. But again, this is a lock. Ludwig Göransson is going to win for Oppenheimer. He should win. He will win. In Best Original Song, I really don't care about this category. I never understood this particular category. So if a particular movie, like most movies, don't have any song in it, it cannot compete here. Like, you're dealing with such a small pool of movies that have songs in them. Like, such a small amount of movies. Like, Barbie could end up getting 3 nominations here. Like, the ones I've chosen is I'm Just Ken and What Was I Made For. But Dance the Night from Dua Lipa could make this as well. But I have not included it just because it would be Barbie mayhem. But again, this just shows why this category is pointless and should be removed, easily removed. The one category that we won the Oscar for last year, Triple R won it for Best Original Song, and I'm an Indian, so I should celebrate it. But it's totally pointless, I would say. Like nothing to take away from these nominees. I'm sure these I think these songs are great, but there is no point in having a Best Original Song because the number of pool of movies are so less. It's like it's just insane. But again, if I had to pick one, I would say that I'm Just Ken is going to win the award. And if I think any particular song should win, I think it's again I'm Just Ken because of the impact it had on the movie. What Was I Made For is a very close second because it's also a very emotional scene. But I'm Just Ken is just like the anthem of the year, you could say. So I have it at my number one. And at number 3, I have The Fire Inside for a movie called Flaming Hot. Yeah, it's something to do with Cheetos, but I don't know like anything about this movie. Like, I have not seen it. I don't think I'm going to see it. At number 4, we have Road to Freedom by Lenny Kravitz for Rustin. And at number 5, I have It Never Went Away by John Batiste for American Symphony. Again, I have not seen this particular movie, but this particular song has generated a lot of buzz, so that's why I've included it. But again, one of the Barbie songs is going to win it. It's a done deal. And I think for this video, I'm going to say it's going to be I'm Just Ken. Then we move on to Best Visual Effects. In Best Visual Effects, I actually have the creator as my number one. What a refreshing pick. I love this. And then Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse as my number 2, followed by Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, Society of the Snow, and then Godzilla Minus One. Personally, I would pick between the creator and Society of the Snow because I love both these movies. But I will give this Oscar to the creator because that movie was made at such a low budget. I think it was made at around $80 million, and it looks like a $250 million movie. That itself is an achievement, and the fact that nobody showed up at the theaters, even when the director toned down the budget. I don't know, like, people say that there's some problem with the Hollywood. I always say there's a problem with the audience. We have moved into a streaming world. Everything for us is Netflix, Prime Video, other streaming platforms. We will not go out to see a movie unless it's an event, period. Cinema is not dead. There are great movies that are out there, but because of the pandemic, because of the streaming, this all is happening. So again. But yeah, the creator was one of the victims of being a very good movie, but that flopped. I hope the Academy awards the movie with this particular win in best visual effect. Then we have best editing. Here I have Oppenheimer as my number one. It's going to win. It's a done deal. Jennifer Lame is going to pick up that Oscar. Again, it's one of those categories that's it's just a done deal. Followed by Killers of the Flower Moon at number two, then Anatomy of a Fall at number three, Barbie at number four, and The Holdovers at number five. Like if you look at this particular category, it's just amazing. The amount of these movies are just incredible. And I think the one that stands out here is Anatomy of a Fall. And I think that both Anatomy of a Fall and The Zone of Interest are going to get nominated in a lot of categories, which is very unusual for a foreign film. Like it just gets to show how the Academy is expanding each year, and you will see more foreign films popping, not just at the best director category, not just at the best picture category, but even in editing and other categories that I have already discussed, and the ones that I'm going to discuss as well. But again, Jennifer Lame is going to win for Oppenheimer. The editing in Oppenheimer, like I'm not sure if I've seen a better edited film than Oppenheimer, I think ever. Like there's a thing that Chris Nolan does with his movies regarding the editing from way back from Memento, even the editing in Memento, how it switches from back in time to present time to future time. The same thing happens in Oppenheimer as well. It's too brilliant, and how each scene connects to the next one despite being non-linear. I think that's the biggest quality of Nolan, and I think working with his editor Jennifer Lame, I think he has done an incredible job, and she has done an even incredible job. Like it's absolutely masterful.